Right now, as the leader of the business, would you say you're focused on vanity metrics or sanity metrics? Might sound a curious question, but it's a really fundamental one when it comes to profit prioritization. It's all too easy as the business is growing and scaling to get hooked on the vanity metrics like turnover, number of customers, number of staff you employ. And that's okay as you are a startup. But as you come to adolescence and maturity, it's really, really important that you focus more on the sanity metrics than you do the vanity metrics. And by sanity metrics, I mean the profit, your profit percentages, and what's left in the business at the end of the year. So the question is, are you getting better or are you just getting bigger? Too much time can sometimes be spent on the sales and the turnover figure. And if that's happening in your business right now, you might be suffering from a lack of profit prioritization because you just focus on the top line growth. The early sign of this is that the top line growth is not translating to improvement in operational net profit. So yes, you've got a bigger turnover, but unless your operating profit and net profit increase disproportionately higher than that, then you're just getting bigger. You're not actually getting a better business out there. And the blind spot here is that we're probably, maybe, focusing on the wrong numbers. So there's a lack of clarity, a lack of understanding what the data we should be focusing on is. And we might even be rewarding the wrong performance data. So we might be giving bonuses out on sales target rather than gross profit generated by those sales. But the good news is there's 3 simple steps you can take. The first is to maximize your gross profit margin. So this is all about pricing, and this is about making sure you're optimizing each sales opportunity. So if you think about an airline or a train company, they're really clear that they have a proactive pricing model, which means that they're getting the most money for each seat, which means they're maximizing the gross profit margin per train trip or per airline trip. Alongside that, once you've maximized the gross profit, it's about controlling the operating profit. So making sure your overheads are as lean as possible and really focusing on this concept of Kaizen, eliminating unnecessary cost and making sure you're focusing on efficiency at all times, and really making sure the operating margin is slimming as your top line is growing. And the third element is net profit. So once you've maximized the gross profit and controlled the operating profit, then you should be generating higher net profit. But the key is making sure you're clear on what you're going to do with that profit. How much profit is going to get paid out in bonuses to staff? How much is going in dividends to shareholders? How much is going to be reinvested in the business for customers? And the clarity on the operating profit is really important, because once you've got the clarity, and if some of that clarity can be shared with the key people, then everybody's really focused on that number. And that number as the owner of the business is what you're judged on. So the profit prioritization is a relatively easy concept to bring to the business because the numbers are already there. You just need to shine a light on them. And by shining that light, the chances are you're just going to improve the numbers with that one act. In the final video of this series, we're going to be looking at the third essential element, which is financial resilience.